Hello. How is everybody? So according to my computer, it looks like I should be louder than the audio. Is that true facts or false facts? I should not use a word like false facts. That's terrible. Oh, beginning of class, already stretching. No, I've been at my computer all day. Good, good. How is everybody? Tired but still above ground. That's a new phrasing, but I like it. Yeah. Um, I feel like this semester in general has been very tough. Everyone, and this is going across all of my classes, has been mostly burned out since week one. Um, it's kind of expected this to be a rough semester. We don't get spring break. Banana, please. Oh God, please tell me you know that. Spring break was canceled. That was announced last last semester. Actually, I think yes, that was announced last semester. They decided, um, correct. It was essentially integrated into Christmas break. Yes, I think that the Friday of before Easter, you get off. Um, no, banana, please. So I also took this into consideration, and so not next week, but the following week, there's no lecture, no class. Um, uh, and I did that to give you a day off because it was the best. It was the best I could do. Um, can you go back to pass fail like the first semester with COVID? I don't think so. Not that I know of. Um, you're currently talking in your astral form, Taco Cat. That's uh if I was a ghost, this is not what I'd be doing with my time. I mean, cool on you if this is what you want to do with your time, but I would be out honestly trolling people. I would 100% be a poltergeist, but not like a dangerous one. Like I wouldn't scratch people or hurt people. I would just fuck with them. Do we have any exam? You don't have an exam for me. I don't give exams. I don't like exams. I don't care if you can memorize stuff. I want you to understand them. And you will show me that by writing your paper and integrating the concepts from class. You can get a B. Ooh. Um, yeah, the first draft is due Sunday at midnight. Um, da, 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 da. I know, I know. That there has been cross-section chatter of confusing people on due dates. Um, when in doubt, check Canvas. If you go to draft one right now, it clearly says due March 14th. Um, What are some good sources besides G? A good sources would be if you go to the library discussion week and look at the 200 some sources that you and your classmates came up with. Um, that would be the first place you should go. I mean, yeah, your first draft should be more or less a finished paper because that's how you don't, that's how you get to the end of the semester without hating yourself. Um, Trust me, that's how you want to do it. Uh, do, 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 do. Yeah, if you need extensions or you have personal reasons or whatever going on, if you have a reason, you can always talk to your TA. I am not going to carte blanche give extensions to the entire class because that would not be beneficial uh, to the class. Pushing stuff off just makes it harder later. However, that being said, if you have a legitimate excuse, like if you got COVID, uh, you know, we can work with you about extensions. Um, these are things that happen. You do not need three sources from the course readings. You need multiple sources, but they are not required to be from the course readings. The G is required, obviously, but that's the only one that's actually required. And then for the vast majority of you, you will be able to find useful sources from the course. Can we use first person in the paper? Yes, you can use first person. In fact, you should be using first person. I think it'd be weird if you didn't, because you have to be incorporating your experience playing the game, i.e., the research you're doing, into the game. And so it only makes sense that you would say I in talking about your experience. I have had players, well, I have had students that don't, and I personally find it hella awkward, and I don't like it personally. Um, every once in a while, somebody does it very well, but yes, G's principal counts as one of the academic sources. JSTOR, yeah, JSTOR is great. Um, yes, it's pointed out in chat by Miss Asaja, at least two core sources and one independent research article. But you can have more than that, right? So those are the minimums, and then you could have um, more than three sources, right? So at least two core sources. You have G's plus whatever, and then one from outside, and then you can have more. Most people have more than that. Um, for exams in the past week count? No, they don't, because in theory, you knew about all of those exams beforehand and should have used better time management skills to plan that out. Which I'm not making fun of you the way I said that. That's more of like me mentally making fun of myself because when I was an undergrad, did I plan around exams? No, I didn't. Did I hate myself at the end of exam week? Yes, I did. Um, what's the point of Journal 3 if the rough draft is due this Sunday? Because nobody, okay, I would say once in the, let's see. Okay, by this point, I have had about 2,000 students go through this class. Of 2,000 students, one time was somebody's first draft so good that I was like, that's it, you're done. You don't have anything else to do. For everybody else, the other 1,999, the rough draft got them in the right direction. It got them thinking the right way. But then either me or the TA, depending on who was grading their paper, came up with questions or things they needed to include that they needed to go back and play the game more in order to actually answer those questions and get data for it. And therefore, that's why you have a journal part 3. Um, so yeah. Is it okay if you don't write in your abstract? I mean, if you don't have the abstract, that's not going to be enough of a thing that like you're going to get a bad grade on the draft. So I wouldn't stress that at all. Um, You know, or what I do for drafts at least, sometimes for finals, the abstract and the intro are the same thing. So you could do that for the draft and then go back and rewrite it later. Yes, Gone Home does look good. Da, 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 da. Okay, that looks like all the questions that I haven't already answered. I'm not going to resume. We're going to start a new game. Yes, I'm sure. I play this game all the time. All right, so Gone Home. Stop it. Pop-ups. Um, Polished draft, not a true rough draft. Do. So I'm going to say a couple of things. One, every semester I try to get to the ending of this game during class and it never happens. Never, not once. So what I am going to say is for this semester, I'm going to ask some discussion questions, and obviously I'm going to talk about some of G's learning and identity
Hi, Mom.
stuff.
So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
That was important, so I wasn't going to talk over it. What I was going to say is I will 100% take backseat driving. So in between discussion questions, if you have played this game or you know things, okay, it's 1:15 a.m. That voice. My flight comes in at midnight. It's now 1:15 a.m. Um, so yeah, so later on, if you know things like the locker combination or where keys are or whatnot, backseat drive this. Maybe this will be the semester where I actually get to the game. Um, Stern Boyo, no. Are you talking about the one? No. Are you talking about the one where I showed you my roommate playing it and turned out all the lights and scared the crap out of everybody? Because that is not what this game is. Yeah, no, this is a different game. It is also in a house. It is a little spooky, but it's less spooky. I've toned down uh, the horror games because that one freaked people out so badly. um, so this one's a little spooky, but less spooky. Also, you know, turn on the lights on in your house, okay? Turn the lights on. There's a I can't speed run it because if I move too quickly, I will literally get motion sickness. So here's what we're gonna do because it's in first person. We're gonna take a look at this Caitlin Greenbrier, Portland, flight number June 6th. So we can assume that the voice was Caitlin, right? Thinking about identity here. Because again, the timing and the voice message about a flight coming in. Here's a note. Oops, not that close. Katie, I'm sorry I can't be there to see you, but it is impossible. Please, please don't go digging around trying to find out where I am. I don't want anyone, mom and dad crossed out, to know. We'll see each other again someday. Don't be worried. I love you. Sam. Cat is sleepy. If you see in the corner, other corner, she still has her cone on. Pisses her off real bad. Alright, so the point of this game is really to explore. I'm going to do a little less exploring than I usually do because, again, I kind of just want to get to the end. So I just happen to know that the key is under the duck. So at this point, I would assume that I am Caitlin. I can't. I can. I can't even. Oh God. Um, I mean, that is something you need to take out with your TA. Yeah. Um, right, because given I'm first person view, I'm coming home, there's a note to Katie, it seems like I'm Katie. Now, we're going to talk about how identity is built through this game, um, but if you want to kind of bring this back to how this would relate to learning, um, G says that taking on identities can be good or bad. I'm specifically looking at page 45. Tell me both how they can be good, how taking on identity can help a learner, and how sometimes um, identifying as something can be detrimental to a learner. So this is... I just realized that says August 94. What was the date at the beginning? Was it like 97? No. Oh, June 95. Okay, thank you. I misremembered that for a second. So the family just moved here, which means...
Dear Katie, so much has changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm in a new school, and my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real, but I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal, just like I was talking to you.
So we're going to point out that there's no mirror, and for reasons to do with what I expect in houses, I personally find it real creepy. There's no mirrors in the bathroom. So that little journal entry also really kind of plays into I am Katie, right? Because I was obviously just away on a study abroad. So let's see, where do we want to go? In a more appropriate manner. Okay, right. So things like kids taking on the role of a scientist puts them in that mindset. They can see themselves doing that thing. Right. So as like some people are saying, ooh, I almost forgot actually. I forgot to do the timestamps. Also, space. Space. There we go. Right, so one of the examples in the reading was if a student identifies themselves as somebody who can't do a thing, they will just prevent themselves from being able to do the thing, right? If you think you're bad at math, you're going to be bad at math. All right, let's turn some lights on here. That should help it make it less creepy, right? Locked. Okay. So while you guys are answering, let's go over here and let's help fill out my identity right now, right? So here's a family portrait for Sam, Katie, Mom, and Dad. So assuming that it's in that order from left to right, I'm going to assume that me, Katie, is the daughter at the top. So that's what I look like. I'm blonde. I can't get close enough to see the color of the eyes. It looks maybe brown. It's just too muted for me to see, really. Right, so some comments on investing. And yes, if you can identify with a character, with a role, with a title, you'll become more invested in it. Yeah, see again, things that you would maybe not know right away. Allegra. Okay, so Sam's a writer. We also saw that author magazine earlier, so probably one of their parents is also. Oh, that's what that is. Zero 0501. Let's see if I can remember that later. So we also notice here, right? So Sam checks off all these like, welcome new students. Here's something I have. Positive attitude. She doesn't have. But are we really surprised?
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class. And I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House girl. Great.
So now we have a picture of a girl named Soto. Don't know who she is yet. We also know that apparently this is the Psycho House. And it looks like this is the previous owner of the house. Someone who, in the decades preceding his passing, so not just a few years, for decades, he was basically a shut-in. And the reason I say we're guessing this is the former owner is because if you remember the moving receipt that I looked at earlier, Greenbrier was the name. So Terrence Greenbrier, we'll assume it's dad. Okay, so let's cut to the taking on identities and let's talk about, let's go back to talking about how identity is being formed in this game. Because there are actually a lot of different ways that identity can be formed, right? So next week, when I think it's next week, we're gonna play WoW, right? And I'm going to have a Mark Chen. Ooh, you can do better. I think someone's having an issue. We're gonna play World of Warcraft, and in World of Warcraft, I would say. Also, don't know if we need that. Probably though. There's a lot more of the player putting on their own identity onto that character. There's much less background story there, whereas this is all background, right? I'm not choosing the name. This is a fully fledged character. Whether I know her background or not is a different question. Black Cat Electrical. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm looking for a possible combination too. That thing over there. I don't think I'm gonna get it. Wait, with the board. This guy's obsessed with JFK. I was just thinking that. No. So that's a good question. Can you have a projective identity? So like i.e. here, could I have a projective identity? And the answer is yes. You know, whether or not you project yourself onto a character is not determined by if the character is predefined or not. It's just that you're more likely to if the character is not predefined, right? Like there's more for you to then fill in. 1969 was not the assassination. It was in fact 1963. Good job, guys. Okay, what do we have here? Attorneys at law. Dear Mr. Masson, who is that? Who knows? Oh wait, was that the previous owner's name? I don't remember. Oh yes, it is. So this is his will and testament. To his nephew, Terrence L. Greenbrier. Yep. Cool. Yes. Whoops. That's not what I tried to do. All right. So we have his last will and testament. We have also, like, I just want this house. Maybe with less creepiness, but it's so big. There's a library. Oh, nerd paradise. Oh wait, what did that say? Dad's second book? Ooh. The Accidental Pariah. Okay, so Dad's an author. All right, but let's back up a little bit because you guys are actually saying a lot of good stuff. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's make sure we not leave anybody behind. G talks about 3 types of identities. And I want to go back here real quick because people have already been kind of mentioning some of these ideas a little bit, but let's make sure everyone's on the same page, right? 3 types of identities, virtual, physical, and projective. who can tell me, so your physical world identity, that's the easy one, right? That's who you are in this world, this physical world, right? Like my physical world identity. Okay, I don't want to say something incorrect, but I also don't want to get too deep. Because people are also very layered, complex beings, right? So for the moment, I'm in class, my physical world identity is Dr. Malone. Now, virtual and projective, what are those two identities? It looks like they're having some problems with their teens, which means with Sam, right? We know what that is. That is for credit, by the way, the question I just put out there. So we're moving on. No longer talking about hear that creepiness? The book. Was it just your uncle who went psycho, or does it run in your family? So notes back and forth in class. Things people did in the 90s before they had cell phones.
Flood conditions are expected at lower elevation.
I have played this game multiple times, still creeped out by this room. The lamp is askew. The frickin' TV is on. Okay, first things first.
Severe weather warning.
Turn that off. Oh, look at this. Looks like there's a VCR missing. There's some tapes. More tapes. And somebody had a pillow for it. Hauntings and poltergeists. Yeah, that's what I want to see right now. Virtual identity is the identity of the player you are playing as in the game. I think you meant character. The story setting percent of the character in the game all affect the virtual identity of the character. Wait, what? The story setting and personality of the character in the game all affect the identity of the character in the game. Your identity as the virtual character in the virtual world. Yep. Alright, so Captain Allegra is a character that's going on and on for Sam, apparently. So something's obviously up, right? Like this room is a mess and the VCR is missing. So that probably suggests that something is going on. It's just this, making friends even when you something. Sam, I thought this might help. Dad. So the parents are trying
You know that
hard.
feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them, and you have to get to know them. Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior. She's usually dressed kind of punk, but sometimes I see her in this, like, army uniform, and she's always drawing in this notebook, looking so intense. I had no idea how I would ever, like, have an excuse to talk to her. Till I noticed she and her friends hang out and play Street Fighter at the 7-Eleven every day after school.
Let's not play the record. I feel like that's actually gonna just make this creepier. No, I want to read that letter in there. Yep. Dear Mr. Greenbrier. Ooh. So Dad's book is getting denied. Oh, so this is supposed to be a series and he's being dropped. Ooh, harsh. Um, oh my God. So there's so many copies of this book and they've already said that like sales are really low. I'm wondering how many of them were just Dad buying his own book. Okay. Do I want to go? I think we gotta go this way. I get easily turned around inside the house. Katie, please tell Mom and Dad sorry about the stuff that's missing. So somebody in chat had asked earlier, did Sam murder Mom and Dad? My guess is no. My guess is looking at this note, the fact that the VCR is missing, and that was historically something like if you watch old movies from the 80s and early 90s, like if somebody needed money, they stole the VCR, right, to sell. And there's all these notes, and there's a note on the door from Sam telling Katie, don't look for me, right? So my guess is Sam ran away. VCRs were expensive. I don't even think they're being made anymore. I don't think you could get one. Right, so we don't know this for sure. This is just my guess. Obviously, as far as my identity, we're talking older sister. And also we're talking, I need to move the cat who is now sitting literally on top of my notebook. All right, can you go back here, baby? Thank you. I know you don't feel good. No, if you want a treat, you gotta stay on your bed. Yeah, so some of you got perhaps slightly more complicated with virtual identity than was necessary. So your virtual identity is just the character you are playing. Oh, shit. Come here. Come here. No, Streaker. Sorry, she literally got her cone stuck on the monitor. Yeah, so the virtual identity is that's it. It's the character you're playing. Now, sometimes that is a virtual identity that you're creating, right? So if your character is a blank slate, then you might be filling into a lot of the background notes, personality, and whatnot for the character. Or it could be like this game where the character is fully fledged, and part of this is that you're exploring and discovering who you are. Please, whatever you found, don't tell Mom and Dad. The attic. So obviously I want to go to the attic now. What? Did I just run into a wall? Wow. Okay. Now, I as a player have never made it to the attic because, like I said, I play this for class every year, and I just never make it in time. Lesbian solidarity, but please don't. Spoilers. Oh, so Janice Greenbrier. So Mom is a conservationist. If you saw a punk girl playing Street Fighter every day in 7-Eleven, I too would run away with her. I mean, that seems like a very reasonable course of action. All right. I apologize for this, but I'm going to have to put the cat upstairs because I can't play with her on the keyboard. And she has obviously decided that she does not want to be good. So say goodbye, kitty. But oh yeah, I can't read your chat right now, but I have USB headphones, so I can still talk to you. So yeah, so I was saying virtual identity is just the character, um, whether you create it or not. All right, just lay down there, honey. You like the couch. You like the couch. Okay, so that's legit. Jenkins says virtual identity is the character identity of the players using in the game. I feel that I get more attached to the identity of RPG games because I'm able to create more about this virtual identity compared to a game where no character customization. So yeah, so in my own research, and even just like me as a person who hangs out with other gamers, um, you know, I hear people who say that. I also hear people who really get into stories like this where they're discovering who they are because they're putting on a different identity, one that they don't have to create, right? So learning about what it'd be like to be X instead of who they are. Um, for me personally, for example, it's very easy for me to identify with Katie because I am also an older sister who has little siblings who have also sometimes done dumb shit like run away. Um, never very far. My sister would sometimes run away to our aunt's house. Um, and then, I don't know if she knows this, but then my aunt would call back to the house and tell either me or my mom and be like, hey, just so you know, Boo's here. We'd be like, yeah, we figured. This looks like it's mom's, right? Um, but yes, projective. Actually, so I might have just missed it. I'm not sure if anyone actually answered projective identity. But projective identity is the projection of self onto the character. This is the theater of the mind, but also partly the accumulation of choices that the player makes to make the character they want in the game, right? So in this case, it's less about choices. This is about discovery. I don't uh, discovery and mystery. It's like my choices aren't going to affect who Katie is, right? Unlike The Witcher, which I played the second week of school, I think. In that way, in that game, you can actually make choices that will affect what kind of person Geralt is. Um, so now we also know some more information. Samantha Greenbrier is 17 years old. Terrible age, in my opinion. Not making fun of her. I just did not like being 17. Um, she is therefore an independent, fully functional human being. She's not, but sure. I mean, sure. A lot of people, a lot of songs, Dancing Queen's not the only one, There's also a Beatles song. They go, she was just 17, if you know what I mean. I can't sing. That was terrible. I should never do that. Anyways, you're as bad as your sister, and I'm turning on all the lights. It's true, though. Let's see, what are these? I personally enjoyed life much better after, words are escaping me. That thing you go through when you're a teenager. Puberty. Yes, I think life's better, way better after puberty. Sam, I think the creative writing track would be perfect for you. Ooh, pre-college program. Wait, what is this? Roof. This is the one me and my dad are building. I want to go for a ride when it's done. Cool. Good boy, bad boy character in the game projective. I'm actually not sure. What do you mean? ETO60500. Good boy and bad boy character in the game. There was another paper under the bed? Ooh, I'll go back. Chun-Li moves. Ooh, there's one here too. There's just notes everywhere. Lonnie! So we don't know who Lonnie is, right? Oh. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of morally questionable um, things you can do in The Witcher, for example. And there's some things where, in my opinion, there was no good answer. Like if you play it all the way through. But yeah, so that's a case of, it's kind of both. Oh, I see. Because in some ways you do have a fully fledged character. You're not really creating girls on your own, but you also get a lot of agency in deciding what kind of person girl will be going forward. So yeah, so we'll just go with some spoilers because we're also like pretty late into class. Lonnie is the 7-Eleven girl. She is also the girl with the pink hair in the photo. Woof, C minus. Okay, locker combination. I think somebody said it was 05, 0 something. Ooh, what was it? Oh my god, that was for the plaque on the portrait downstairs. I have never picked up that there was a paper down there, and so I didn't see what that was. That's a first for me. Yes! I love backseat driving sometimes. Let's see how much of a bad girl she is. Look at this pack of smokes. Oh, killing me. What is this? Do you see this? Do you know what those are? I do see the key on the door. 1 second. Are there certain ways that games allow for us? No, wait, don't go away, don't go away. Are there certain ways that games allow for us to project our identity onto the games more than others, like GTA Online allows for you to create a character from scratch. However, once past tutorial, you're allowed to do whatever you please. Obviously, you have to find ways to make money, but it's all up to the player to decide what their character will do to make that money. I would say there are certain ways that games allow for more or less projection. And I think that is such an excellent question. Let's like that the next discussion question. Give me examples. So you could just explain a mechanic that does that, or also, or even better, give me an example. Like in X game, this is how um, you know it allows for projection of identity. With examples. Like I said, it varies by game, but it also varies by basement key.
Lonnie came over today. Everything was different. She was sitting at my desk chair, and she wouldn't look at me. Finally, I asked her what was going on. She said she felt like she'd done something wrong that night in the city. Like I must think... But I said no. There was nothing wrong. I just wanted to say... But I couldn't find the words. I felt like I was gonna cry, but I wasn't sad. She got up and sat next to me on the bed. I looked at her.
Go away.
Lonnie.
Why are you doing that? Go away.
Do you think you could ever... And that's when she kissed me.
So 100%. I know somebody called that like a while ago about lesbians united or uniting. Trapper keepers. Oops. All right, let's just kind of skip down to the basement. I feel like that's a good thing to do. Maybe. Wait, turn it this way? That way. Like I said, I get lost. Oh no, let's go in here. Because again, look at this. Drawers open. Which is interesting because mom and dad's bedroom, they probably don't have that much like stuff you'd want to sell in their drawers. Like this seems very weird to me. VCR, again, she took all the VCRs. Oh, a closet to die for. Okay, so we're really filling in some family dynamic here, right? Because it seems like this has been only in this year that Sam herself has really figured out that she's a lesbian, right? Because she said she was very surprised at what happened between her and Lonnie. There's a secret passage in the parents' closet. Right, what? Let me go back. Okay, this book? I can't move the clothes. Just examine the wall at the end of the closet. Okay, there's Ooh. Thank you. So this is weird. Oh, map. Oh, so Sam and Lonnie obviously found the secret passage, right? Hidden compartments found 3. So we have it in the library, the upstairs hall, and the foyer. We found the one in... Is that the upstairs hall or was that the downstairs? Oh, that picture is the one that I found before. Excellent. So Stardew Valley I haven't played yet. I really should. Combines backstory and player identity with different skills learned in storyline. You can really explore a lot regarding identity. Yeah, so my experience is often that, is this a door? Yes. Okay, and then that takes us back to the library. Is that a lot of games do combine both backstory and your own decisions for. I think it's over here. For creating the character. Maybe it's over here. Okay, so I don't think I can go to the attic because I think I need a key. So that's interesting. I also did not know that you could trans your character. Okay, so we have to go through the basement. I do have the key to the basement. There's a hidden compartment outside of Sam's room to the paper side. Okay, so this is Sam's room. This is also Sam's room. Oh, there it is. Oh, Ouija board. Yeah, that's what I want. They should let us play it. To come back. Was this here before? I won't be needing it anymore. So she is, like, for real wanting to, like, leave. It's not the spooky game that you were talking about, Stormwayo. Through the closet. Through the mom's closet? Not this way. In this room. Oh, okay. Nope, wrong room. I got turned around, didn't I? What is this? That's a bathroom. No, so so I know the game Stromboyo is talking about, and my roommate would also probably know the name of it, but she's in an interview right now, so I cannot ask her. I don't think I'm getting anywhere in this closet. Um, I know, I am too. Oh God, I thought that was a person. That is so creepy. Ooh. Okay, so here's the attic, which is Sam's dark room. So we still need to get to the basement. Um, so I also want to point out the ceiling of the closet. There's a button in Myra. Do you hear that? No, when I press the button, there's totally creaking. Here, hold on, listen to this, listen. I did press it. There it is. Ah! So the other thing that you can notice when it comes to identity and whether or not a player is really projecting and taking in the identity or not is if you listen to the way in which they speak, right? Um, Now, if you listen to the way I speak, ooh, this is so creepy and yet so cool. I want this house. Um, Right, so I go back and forth between talking about Katie in the third person and also
I don't get Lonnie sometimes.
um,
Like, her band,
first person.
and our zine, and her hair, and everything are all anti-authority. But I watch her in JROTC, and she's doing drills in perfect formation, following orders, no question. And there's all this stuff in the news about don't ask, don't tell. Like, she's going to join the army and then have to lie about who she is. She said they don't need to know what they don't need to know. Like it was no big deal. This from the girl who trashed her locker to, like, defend my honor. I've learned when to stop arguing, though. I don't think Lonnie even gets Lonnie sometimes.
Um, so I would understand if somebody in this situation would in fact just sit in the corner and cry. No judgment. Um, I think given that it's my family, I might actually go through the house. Um, I mean, where are the parents? There's like no food in this fridge. And it's 1 in the morning. And we know Sam ran away. So it looks like Sam packed up food to go. Parents are on an anniversary trip. Are they really? Did I just like miss that? Um, yeah, so this is very common. It's very common for people to use first person when they're talking about what they do in games. You know, and there's a couple of ways you can look at this, right? Because on the one hand, you could say, yeah, well, you are doing it because you're, you know, using the controls and doing the thing, but also, oh wow, I've never been back here before. But also we don't talk about like, oh, hey, I pressed AAB and then whatever, right? We talk about, um, you know, I killed that person. I read this note. I ran away from home, didn't run away from home. I'm just confused now. I just want to go back to the basement. I don't think there's a time limit in this game, but also I've never finished this game. So I was looking for that before, but then I couldn't get up. Oh, this is not creepy at all. Secret room in the basement. But I do kind of want to do that, not least of which is I get sick from first person perspective, and it's starting to kick in right about now. This is why I've never finished the game. I know I'm walking past so many notes, but I just can't. So I actually highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm skipping a lot because class ends in 4 minutes, and also because the motion sickness is kicking in. Usually if I want to play a game like this, I can only play 15 to 20 minutes at a time. I think here, this is the area, right? It's not on the other side, is it? It does look like it should open up, doesn't it? But I can't. Oh, 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 oh. It's 3:43 anyways, and I can't. I can't. I need to not be playing anymore. I am done. Um, someday I will find a different game to play. But yes, that was it. Next week, World of Warcraft, we're going to have a guest speaker. Speaking of which, you should already have World of Warcraft downloaded to your computer. It's going to take a lot. Don't wait until the last minute. Also, put in a couple hours playing that game. It's a great game. You'll like it. Yeah, I will. See you all next week. Bye.